Elon Musk's AI tool Grok is facing international outrage as the EU and UK condemn its use of generating sexual deepfakes, prompting investigations and urgent calls for action to protect users from its harmful content. For more, let's head to Queensland. We're joined by Dr. Karen Sutherland from the Uni of the Sunshine Coast. Great to see you. What were the main concerns raised about Grok's AI tool? What's happening?
The complete lack of guardrails on this feature of Grok before rolling it out is really concerning. And to think that it's an image edit tool, so to think that it would not have been used in this way and sort of trying to preempt the worst case scenario of these sort of features, AI features, and how they're used and putting the guardrails in place before they're released, it's a worry that didn't happen. The fact that they're being used for child sexualized images is just completely worrying. And that's among other uses that people are using it for darker ways to use AI.
Yeah, obviously a lot of guardrails on OpenAI. We see it all the time. A lot of pressure about this as well. How's the international community, bodies like the EU, Britain responding to the actions? What are they saying?
They're up in arms about it. It's absolutely appalling. And then you've got India as well, and they've ordered removals of this feature as well. And if there isn't an action taken report within 72 hours, Grok is going to face legal consequences. And in the UK, they're looking to check what laws have been breached because of this feature. The international community has really jumped on this very quickly. And I think the Grok has apologised, but come on, really? I mean, as if you wouldn't predict that this is the way it was going to be used.
Yeah, it's funny. Some say that Elon Musk is the world's most successful 14-year-old boy. And if you look at it through that lens, I would imagine a 14-year-old boy would find this very amusing.
Oh, absolutely. And I don't know if I can only speculate. He runs on it's easier to ask forgiveness and seek approval and see what you can get away with in first and then put the guardrails in. Who knows what he's thinking in terms of this issue. But yeah, I have to agree. It was very irresponsible.
Does it also show the race and the harmful impact of the race for AI? You have all of these companies spending so much money on AI, from Meta obviously through to Grok. There's OpenAI as well, Google. Everyone is throwing themselves at it. And we have seen so much controversy about it. Black people being portrayed as white people, and the other way around as well, historical figures who don't look anything like historical figures. Is this part of the problem when you do something new and everyone is racing in because there is so much money at stake?
Absolutely. All of these AI platforms are trying to be the first at whatever the next thing is in the development and evolution of AI. And the actual risk factors and guardrails seem to be taking a backseat in this. And there's a big conference going on, tech conference happening in Las Vegas at the moment. And I've been watching some commentators and content creators online who are sharing content from this conference. And they're saying that while the tech is like mind-blowing, there is very little talk about risk and ethics and things like that, which is very concerning.
What specific features of Grok have raised alarm bells amongst users?
It's been a few things lately. This is the latest one, but I do remember seeing, so Grok is apparently in Tesla. And so you can talk to Grok in a Tesla car. And apparently it was saying really inappropriate things to users, even though they've said their age and they were underage. And I think in one case, Grok through Tesla was telling a young kid to send nudes. It's just bizarre, absolutely bizarre.
Yikes, obviously not what we want to be seeing. Talk to us about the legal implications of generating sexualized deepfakes as well. We know Europe's pretty strong when it comes to dealing with these tech companies.
I think it's very different in each country, but what is good to see is that many countries have actually tried to stamp this out before it's gone too far, but the fact that it happened in the first place is pretty cool.
Yeah, very much, very much. All right, a groundbreaking AI model developed by researchers at the University of Delaware can identify potentially harmful social media videos before they go viral, helping to protect vulnerable viewers from triggering content. This sounds like something that probably should be happening, and obviously something that I guess it comes into that question about freedom versus safety.
Yes. I was on a panel at the Shusha Global Media Forum in July last year, and there was a rep from TikTok talking about they already use similar technology, particularly on the live streaming that people do, and the AI can shut things down very quickly if there's questionable things going on there. This takes it in another way, in that it's actually using medical information to identify the risk factors in terms of suicide and suicidal content, or content that could spark a suicidal response in the viewer. And so it's identifying, using those risk factors to identify both the video and then in the comments as well, which is interesting. So yes, you are right. It does lead to discussions around free speech. And I think in Australia too, it's also interesting now that under 16s can't use social media, so there are less vulnerable people on there. But yes, it's another sort of blurry line. Should we be predicting harmful content like this, or should we leave it up to the user to be able to make those decisions for themselves?
How does this AI model differentiate between creators' intentions and viewers' reactions? Because a lot can be said in the eye of the beholder.
100%. I think it's because they're using that sort of those medical risk factors as the measure, rather than, and that would be based on years and years of research as well to be able to identify that. So I think that's the thing that's different in this case. So rather than, you're right, everyone has different responses to different things, but I think based on the research that's been undertaken in the medical field, that's what sort of sets this apart.
What specific features of the video does the model analyse? What do we know?
At this point, from what I can gather from the research, that it looks at what's being said, the tone, the music, and the combination of all of that together and the messages, and then it compares the sort of research outcomes that have been identified in the past around content that can be questionable or that can have this sort of response. And then it's also the language. It's doing sort of sentiment analysis in the comments in response to the video. And so I think the aim is to not stop the video from being posted, but to catch it before it goes viral and before the algorithm pushes it out further.
Which is pretty helpful. Talk to us about how it separates known medical risk factors from social media trends as well.
Yeah, so the aim of this research also was to make sure that trends are not being caught up in it as well, particularly if the trend is not related to those risk factors. So it's separating emerging trends, and they're saying viral heartbreak clips and challenges and things like that. So that's interesting. I'd like to learn more about that myself, around what they're doing to identify and split those out. But I think there's a lot more research to be done. So this is the early stages. But I mean, if they can develop it further and make it very specific and very accurate, I think this is something the platform should look into adopting.
Yeah, and it's great to see them even thinking about this and going down this, and that AI can be used for good when it comes to these things as well. Always appreciate your insights and your time. Here's to a big 2026. Good to see you.